back. They better had, or else they would have to deal with me personally. I figured I would sell myself before he gave me the bad news. You know, try to save face. I just spoke with Jadakiss. He's a famous rapper right here in New York, and he was approved for a $2 million mortgage not too long ago. I got him to put $1 million down, so he's well invested. I can tell you I know him personally, and he will not only pay, but pay early. And Zab Judah, 5-time champion boxer, he just paid off a $3.5 million loan that I worked very hard to get for him. I know my methods were a little non-traditional, but my goal is to make this bank number 1 in the world. The world, sir. No other bank could do it, but I got it done. If there is something wrong with He interrupted me. No, there's nothing wrong. Actually, we think what you're doing is great. You're bringing in some unusual characters, yes, and it's making the bank a lot of money. There's some good news that recently came down the pipeline. He leaned in closer from his side of the desk. We want to promote you. We want you to bring more of your people into our establishment. It's a win-win situation for all of us. He got up and closed his office door, then sat back down and talked in a hushed tone. I know a lot of these rapper characters don't have good credit, Miller. We also noticed you seem to know a lot of... Now he went into an all-out whisper. Drug dealers and street guys. But they still have plenty of money, and we can still sell houses to these people. We just need you and your wit to help continue to bridge that gap. We'll give you whatever you need. There's just one condition. Okay? And what's that? His breath stank of rotten bullshit that was about to fly out of his mouth any second. Here it comes. Well, all of these types of loans need to start with 14% interest. 14%? I repeated, shocked. I looked at him as if he'd passed me the whip and asked me to beat the slaves for him. He'd lost his mind. My stare lingered. He can't be serious. That amount is outrageous. I was about to get up and walk out, but I pondered his offer briefly. Yeah, he thought he was getting over by exploiting my people, giving them high-interest loans that any knowledgeable person would never pay. However, I saw an opportunity to help a lot of people, and my brain had already started churning out a plan to get around that interest rate crap. I could work my magic once I got an opportunity to get creative, and it sounded like he was giving me that power. What exactly would the position be? Special Accounts Manager. And the meaning of special? I asked, raising a freshly waxed brow. Well, we'll leave that to you. We can get creative, but of course, we want the bank to be known for bridging the gap and giving minorities opportunities that no other bank has done. And the best part of it is, we'll give you your own team with underwriting power to approve loans up to $5 million. We've got about $500 million to lend. Who knows? You can be the Oprah Winfrey savior for your people. Think about what you can do, not just for yourself, but for your community. Never in America does a bank suddenly tell a black person they have access to so much money to give to more black folks. Something is off with this. This is corporate America, and we aren't welcomed here. Of course I'll accept. I love it. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Mr. Dardian. We shook on it. My name was already ringing bells. I surely didn't want to sound off any alarms. If I felt he was up to something crazy, I would back out. But I'd wait until that happened, if ever. I exited the bank, jumped in my Benz, and celebrated with a fat-ass blunt. Yeah, Miller Winfrey had a ring to it, but I also found out that if something sounded too good to be true,
it
it usually was. Chapter 2, Sunny Soleil. My mama named me Sunny Soleil because she knew I would shine. And I do, like a D-colored diamond, sparkling in the sun. Maybe she should have just named me Diamond, since I wore so many of them. That's probably why the prosecutor kept glancing back at me. I shouldn't have worn my wedding ring set. Every time I raised my hand, I'm sure I blinded the judge and prosecutor because they both were acting as if they couldn't see the scandal unfolding right before their eyes. Shit, no disrespect, but Ray Charles couldn't even see this bullshit. You see, my husband and I had always been getting money. We had so many legitimate businesses that all of our street money got washed flawlessly. There was no proof that we moved a few bricks, printed a few $1,000s of counterfeit money, and worked out a fair deal with the Italian mob to run our businesses in their territory. The illegal dealings are only a small part of our major operations. One would never know what we were doing, but the feds insisted on sniffing and digging until their hunger got the best of them, and they went in for the kill. About 3 months ago, I had finally had the house to myself. I'll never forget it. While relaxing in my master suite jacuzzi, I was skimming through the DuPont registry and scoping out that new Bentley Bentayga and listening to CNN. My alarm system went off, followed by a call from the security company. There was no knock and enter, no warning. They just broke the door down and shouted, "We've got a warrant." My breath left my body as I stood naked in the water, with my mouth hanging open. I stepped out of the tub as fast as I could and grabbed my La Perla and Zenic silk robe from the heated rack. It was as warm as a freshly baked loaf of bread, but the goosebumps appeared as though I was bare in the middle of Antarctica. "Who's in my crib?" I screamed, as if my life was in danger. Before I could walk out of the bedroom, 10 or so FBI agents swarmed in front of me. "Ma'am, you need to get dressed and come with us," an agent said. "Do you have a warrant?" I asked. One of them flashed it in my face so fast, I could barely read it. "No, like I said, get dressed." "Where the fuck is my copy?" I asked, grilling him. The left corner of my top lip rose. He ignored my question and my frown. "You need to put on something decent." Damn, it was uncomfortable the way his blue eyes roamed from my head down to my toes. "I would, if you get the hell out. Get out of my bathroom and I'll get dressed." "We can't let you out of our sight." "Then it looks like we have a problem." "Looks that way," the smart-mouthed one said, smirking. I smiled back. "What's your name?" "Special Agent Jackson, and this is my team." I nodded, but never took my eyes off him. I calmly spoke. "Siri, activate security cameras, activate vocal record. Male FBI agents are standing in my bathroom, trying to force me to undress in their presence while..." He threw his hands up in defeat and rolled his eyes. I crossed my arms. "Somebody, get a female agent up here," he said, cutting me off. "Come on, guys, step out. Search the bedroom and be thorough." They didn't find anything but money. A whole lot of it. About $1 million. But what they reported finding was $100,000. They stole the rest. They charged my husband H with money laundering, but they couldn't connect anything to me. He is currently on trial, but it seems he'll be going home. You see, when you live the way we do, you always have security cameras. The footage showed them going into our stash room and piling money into duffel bags. It clearly showed much more than $100,000. With that evidence, there should be no problem with my husband getting vindicated. I couldn't wait for the jury to see those crooked motherfuckers getting busted, stealing our money. The case had to get tossed. My husband's lawyer got up to speak. My king turned and winked at me. I gave him a head nod and blew him a kiss. "Now, Your Honor, the defense would like to present to you our most crucial piece of evidence yet." The the security footage from the Williamson family home. The video began to play on the big screen. It clearly showed them taking money, but then the video suddenly turned off. Your Honor, said the court technician, we seem to have experienced some type of glitch that corrupted the file. Fix it, Mr. Carlton, my husband's attorney said. Fix it. They tried for the next half hour and then broke for recess. When court resumed, the file had been totally corrupted and they claimed there were no copies. I could not contain myself. This is bullshit. Y'all not playing fair. I stood up and shouted, this is unacceptable. They just don't want to be exposed. Those agents are all dirty. All of them. The judge, Brenda Doom, could have called a mistrial, something, anything. But instead, she called it an unfortunate event. And she said the trial would continue. This was unheard of. The one thing that could prove our case was no longer available. Was this shit even legal? I didn't know what to do, so I walked towards the judge. Mrs. Williamson, you may want to calm down before I hold you in contempt of court. I don't give a shit. A black man can't get a fair trial in this country. This is outrageous. The marshals intervened and literally dragged me out of the courtroom. They told me to leave or I would be arrested. I was beside myself with anger. I was so hot to Phoenix. They said hanging me on our bread, and they were trying to cover it up. Actually, they weren't trying to cover it up. They'd already done it. I felt violated. But if it was the last thing I ever did, I would get to the bottom of this and expose these corrupt-ass suits, one way or another. Enough was enough.